Crossover between my podcast and Jane Bernard's podcast. Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm terrific. Thank you so much, Jason. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. We're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, living in China, because, as people, I went back to the States a few years ago and I was like, hey guys, I've been in China. And people are like, oh, that's nice. You want to watch TV? And so it's very interesting for us being here in China. But actually, I think a lot of folks back home, they're just like, oh yeah, well, you know what I've been doing? So, I think it's going to be fun for us to talk about. I wanted to ask you, I'll answer the same questions. I think I love to talk about myself, but let's start with you. How did you end up coming over to China in the first place? When was this? Why did you come?
Okay, I came into China in the August of 2019, so it's been approximately 4 years and 3 months precisely. So I got into China with the aid of the Confucius Institute because
that's awesome.
I was privileged to learn Chinese language in Confucius Institute, and then we had this opportunity to come over to China to continue our studies. So that was how I found myself in China.
Where did you come from?
I'm Nigerian.
Oh, that's very cool. So they have Confucius Institutes at your university or high school, or how did that work?
University in Nigeria currently, I think we have about 4 in different universities in Nigeria. So I chose the one in the east because I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria. So my university was there, and they happen to have Confucius Institute in my university. So I just took the opportunity.
Are you fluent in Chinese?
Well, my bachelor's was majored in Chinese, so I'm a certified translator right now. So I would say,
goodness,
I have to be 还可以. Yeah.
I'm Haikai. No, you have a bachelor's degree in Chinese. You're like, need a Zhongwen Zhenhao, so that's a whole other level. Yeah. You're just modest. That's what it is. You have a bachelor's degree in Chinese. You're a translator, but you're saying Haikai, so that you're just really modest. So you came in 2019. What was your experience of the first month or two? Well, how was everything different? How was everything the same? What was it like coming to China?
Well, it's obviously the part of isolation. Isolation hits you because now you're in this reality of you're not with your family. So now you have to make new families, which is kind of very difficult. It was very difficult for me because I'm from Africa, and Asia being a totally different continent with different cultures. So it's more like, I don't know, it's more like turning a new leaf, like having probably written a book on self-love, and now you have to read on calculus. So it's totally different. So I was just here and there. It was, one word was just different. Yeah. I don't want to go into much detail now. So
great. So, you mentioned everything being different, having to start a new family. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was on WeChat and you liked one of King Kwesi's posts. Did I see this?
Yeah.
So King Kwesi?
I do. We've actually a couple of times.
You live in Beijing?
I am in Jinan, and he's in Weihai, so it's more like very close by.
You're both in Shandong. Have you actually met King Kwesi in person?
A couple of times, yeah.
He's a pretty cool guy. We've had him on the show like about a year ago.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Well,
yeah. Yeah, we're all kind of podcasting together in a big circle. So we kind of all just end up meeting each other. He's a really cool. So when you say you made new family in Jinan, what does that mean? Like how do you do that?
Well, like I said, how different it was. New family in this sense means you have to make friends. You have to, if possible, make local families, the issues around. You don't really have to put them like being this family set, but when I mean family, I mean people to be around with, people to talk with, people to get the isolation spirit out of you with, So not really people you have to call every day or they always there when you need them, but people you have the sense of their presence. But, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
I came in 2012, and I know what you mean. Immediately, I had already lived in South Korea in 2010, and I found that when I moved to South Korea, that I ended up like making friends with my coworkers. And as much as that was fine, and I met really cool people, when I came to China in 2012 for a different adventure, I thought to myself, the last thing I want to do is connect my social life to my work life again. So even though all my coworkers in China and Beijing were really cool people, I really went out of my way to try to make friends with people who were not my coworkers. And that took a lot longer because, you make friends with your coworkers, you have new friends in a week or two, right? Or a month, these are the people I click with. But for me, I was like looking for people that were kind of like me, but who were not my coworkers. So I was kind of, alone. I had a lonesome experience for a few months before I finally ended up finding a circle of friends like you're talking about and settling in and making Beijing feel a lot more home because I knew there were people I would see on Friday night or whatever. And that was a nice feeling. But also, I didn't want to become that guy who's out with his friends Friday night talking about work. That's just not fun. So
I get it. So how did you make those friends? Like, where did you have to go to? What conversation did you have to, strike to get them to be, I want to be friends with Jason. I think he's a cool guy. What did you do?
That's an interesting question. I'm not much of a drinker. I had never had a history of drinking alcohol, but I was sitting downstairs in China. We have, for the people who are listening who are not in China, we have these communities called xiaochus, which is like usually a gated community. Sometimes they don't have gates. And there's like a few thousand people that live in a few buildings together. And I was just hanging out downstairs at the local shop, like the corner store inside the xiaochu, which we all have. And there was a plastic table out front. I was just sitting there and I was having a beer. I'm not a big beer drinker, but I was drinking that night. And these group of drinkers, they're like, hey, who are you? What's your story? And they were like that. So I started talking to them and they seemed like really down to earth people. And what's neat about being an expat like we are is that instead of like, meeting you're in Nigeria, you're Nigerian, all your friends are Nigerian. I was in America, I was surrounded by Americans, all my friends were Americans. But you come to a place like China, and suddenly you have friends from England and Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. So that was kind of interesting. Everyone has their own like story about, and their stories are very widely different from yours, and their interpretations of reality are widely different from yours. Did you have that experience too?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I really have a Nigerian friend physically right now. I would say all my Nigerian friends are now probably online because I used to have some, but no longer in Jinan because I've been in Jinan for like 4 years. So my friends had to move to other cities and all of that. So my friends now are from different countries. And I feel like it's amazing because it gives you a lot of experience about people's culture and makes you eat good food. I mean, different kinds of food. So yeah, I've got that experience. I said something about leaving Africa to Asia, right? Now I no longer have this Nigerian, everyone being Nigerian around me, or like you, everyone being American, right? So you have to face different culture, and you have no choice. That's the interesting part of it. You have no choice. If you want to just go to having just Nigerian or American friends, then just be ready to be lonely because you might probably not find them. That's the truth. That's the main thing. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned when you first started saying about your new family that, you mentioned Chinese terminology for family members. So I imagine because you're too humble to admit it, but you're pretty fluent in Chinese compared to me. So like, I imagine a lot of your friends are Chinese. I have Chinese friends too, but they're just some of my friend group. Would you say that you have an enormous amount of Chinese friends because you're able to communicate with them so easily?
I would say no. Actually, I have audio Chinese, visual Chinese friends, not physical Chinese friends. We just chat online. So I hang around mostly with, foreigners, and I'm not the kind of person that also goes to the bar. So it's more like I have lesser friends. I wish I used to go to the bar, like coffee shops or hang out. I love to hang out, but not the bar settings. So I would say I have Chinese friends, but not because I speak Chinese or because I hang out with them. Not really. Yeah, I really wish I had more Chinese friends. But here I realized that in Jinan, I'm not sure about Beijing because you guys are really privileged over there. In Jinan here, they want to move with their fellow Chinese people. I'm not sure, probably they're shy, or I haven't really tried to maybe have that close relationship with the girls here. So, yeah, I would try maybe. I would try.
I've been to Jinan. I was there in 2014. I thought it was, I've been all over Shandong. I've been to Weihai, Yantai, Qingdao, Chufu, Jinan, a bunch of other cities too that I can barely pronounce. So yeah, my wife is from Shandong, so we go back there often to hang out and stuff. What do you think of Jinan? Have you been to other cities nearby?
Yes, I love to travel, by the way. Where's your wife from, if you don't mind sharing?
Yantai.
Oh, Yantai is a beautiful city. I was in Yantai last 2021. Yes, 2 years ago. I love Jinan city. If you're asking me about Jinan, or do you mean Shandong in general, or Jinan city?
Well, you say you travel a lot. Obviously, you must have been to Qingdao. So,
I have been to
Jinan or Qingdao, which one do you prefer?
Okay, that's a very difficult question, Jason.
Yeah, because you got Jinan pride, but then Qingdao is so nice, right?
Okay, let me put it this way. Qingdao is beautiful, and the community, like the foreign community there, is also amazing. So if you ask me, I've been to Qingdao and stayed for just 3 months, unlike Jinan. So if you ask me, I think I would probably prefer staying in Qingdao. Yeah.
What's the coastline? I think that's the main difference. Yeah. Jinan's lovely, right? If Jinan had a coastline, then it would be a much more difficult comparison, I think. But anywhere where you can see the ocean, I mean, that's nice.
Yeah.